Stop letting yourself be pulled in all directions. You cannot let yourself be pulled in this and that direction when you are on a path to a goal. When you have a North Star, you cannot be getting pulled to this and that direction. And it's so easy in this day and age to get distracted and to get pulled in so many different directions. This is a big reason why I personally do not have Instagram on my phone or Snapchat or a lot of social media because for me, I know my weaknesses and I know how much envy I can create through having these things. I can be plugging away, grinding, trying to get smarter, trying to get wiser, trying to become the person that I know I can be. And when I have social media apps, and somebody, let's say, posts a picture of them in Rome, I yearn to be in Rome. I think about how cool that must be, how lucky they are to be in Rome this minute, because I put myself in their position in that moment without even considering, the cost, the stress of traveling that far, the drive to the airport, the drive to, or the flight, the booking of the hotels, the planning of excursions. You don't consider any of that. All you do is think, wow, if I could teleport, you don't actually think this, but this is kind of how it almost feels like we think about it. Like if I could teleport to Rome right now, that'd be great, which we can't. But instead, we don't think about everything that goes into it. You see someone who starts getting success, and you think, wow, like that must be great. Like I want to have success like that person, but you don't know what they went through. You don't know what they did. You have to, if you want to do what someone, if you want to do what someone does, you have to do what they did. And most people don't want to do what people did to have what they have. So envy for that reason is stupid. You may see somebody in a different country exploring a place that's, beautiful and awe-inspiring, but it was a 20-hour flight and a couple day hike in the jungle to get to the view spot they're at. Like, would you want to do that? And you're like, oh no, I wouldn't, but it'd be nice if I could just teleport there. It's like, well, you can't do that. You need to go through you need to go through that thing to get to there. So, that's like I was saying, like a big reason why I don't have social media on my phone, because I could be on my path, doing the things I have to do to get to where I want to be. And I can be pulled so easily by putting myself in a headspace of where thinking I can just obtain something so easily without any cost. There's a cost. And I'm not talking about a financial cost. I'm talking about a time cost, a creativity cost, a mental energy cost on going on a trip for a week or two. You if you have momentum going and you destroy that momentum by going on a month long, road trip or month long, trip to Asia, then you're not going to get to your goals, because momentum is an amazing thing. And when there's momentum, you want to, it's always important to stay disciplined, but when there's momentum, it's almost twofold, because everything just comes easier. Everything just it starts flowing, and everything just seems like what used to be hard seems so easy. And it's just like your brain's like a creative sponge, and everything it's in taking in, it's absorbing and just poofing out creativity. So it's like you need to not be distracted. And like I said, for me, I know I'm susceptible to envy from, social media apps. So I don't have them on my phone. And my life has improved immensely, you know? And that's also another reason why I don't like to, when I do go do fun things, because, I still believe there's, a time and a place to go do fun things. You can't just work 24/7. You need rest and you need to let your brain relax, and exploring is something I do like to do. But when I go and do that, I don't post about it. I don't re-download Instagram so I can post a picture that I'm, in Puerto Rico, or that I'm at Yosemite or Sequoia or surfing. I don't do that because I know how it makes me feel, and I don't want to create that illusion in another person's head, when most days that I'm not like that super happy person you see at the peak of Half Dome in Yosemite. I'm not saying I'm not happy, but I'm a different person. And I'm not a different person, but I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. It's like, obviously, it's been talked about so much, but like social media is basically just a highlight reel of your life. So I don't like posting a highlight reel. Even though people know it, the brain still allows itself to be fooled and think that that's that person's every second, every minute life. They're always happy, like they're at the top of the Eiffel Tower. But in reality, that's not it. And you don't even, like I said earlier, see the travel time and see the money and everything that went into it and all that. So for that reason, I don't like posting about things either, because I don't want to create envy in another person. The saddest thing is someone who envies someone, and that person who is envying this person envies that person. How sad is that? How sad is it that a person that envies somebody, they can both envy each other, you know, instead of just both being grateful for what they have and realizing that other people would want what they have, and just also realize that you would want what you have if you didn't have it. So you can't let yourself just be pulled by, flashy objects or a flashy life, because there's so much underneath that you don't actually see, and there's so much underneath the surface that you don't realize people go through. And most people, you probably wouldn't want to change lives with them, even though you might think you want to. You wouldn't, because you don't know what they go through. You don't know the struggles they have. And in reality, if you switch bodies, you realize they have the same struggles as you. They may be different, but at the end of the day, they're the same. And what I mean by that is that they take the same mental energy. You know, you may worry about how your hair looks, but and this person worries about how their posture is. You know what I mean? You both give equal attention to an external thing, so you both are in turmoil. So envy is has to be the saddest sin, because there's no pleasure. You have no pleasure when you're envying somebody. At least with the other sins, there's pleasure. And I'm not promoting sinful activity, but at least if you give into lust, you had some pleasure. Or if you give into greed, I mean, you're rich. Or you give into sloth, I mean, you just sat around, you didn't exert any energy, you felt good in the moment. But envy, you don't even feel good, you just feel horrible. It's the saddest sin, I believe. So just remember some of those points when you're seeing flashy objects in life. And if you're like me and you're susceptible to envy and wanting to be pulled this way and that way, you might need to get rid of some of these apps, and you might need to take a look at your life and realize the things that you are susceptible to, and remove them from your life, or you won't be able to stay on the path to your North Star and continue on your goal, because there's going to be hiccups in the road, and there's going to be downsides, and every day is not going to be sunshine, butterflies, and rainbows. So you need to not be so distracted by external events, and not get so caught up in what everyone else is doing, because everyone has different goals. You know, you may think you want to be doing what that person is doing, but you don't even have the same goals, you know? And it's also crazy when you give yourself, or you start becoming jealous of envy of somebody who has something that you never wanted. It's like, why would you think that you would get that if you never even were trying to get it? You know what I mean? It's like someone who's not popular or something, and then one day they're jealous that they're not popular. It's like you didn't want to be popular. Like, how did you expect to become popular if you didn't at least want to be? You know what I mean? If you didn't put in the work to, hang out with people, talk to people, if you're a keep to yourself kind of person and never go out of your way to build relationships, and then one day you're sad you don't have any friends. Like, obviously you don't have any friends. You don't try to have friends. They're not just gonna appear out of nowhere and want to be your friend when you give no effort back. So just stick your course, remember your North Star, and don't be jarred by all the other paths. You know, you can't be getting pulled this way and that way. I've told a story on this channel before about, taking a raft to Hawaii and, you know, say Hawaii's here and you have an island here, an island here, and an island here, and you start right here. You get this far and it was a rough journey. That island looks good. That's not Hawaii. But some people on board give up and they go to that island. But you don't. You keep going, and then you get to this island, and some people are swimming onto your raft, and they're saying, we made a mistake. We want to get to Hawaii. We should have never stopped. And then you're feeling good about your decision, and then you get to this island, and then those same people that just got on are now getting off again, and you say, "What? Wait! That's not Hawaii. Why are you getting off? What? I thought that was the whole thing. You wanted to go to Hawaii." And they're like, yeah, but this island looks really good. Like the old island we were on, it was all right, but that that's got to be just like Hawaii. There's no reason for us to go another month or another week or another year or another 10 years when we can just stop right here and get basically our goal. And then in those situations, it's even harder because you saw people who, for a while, realized the mistake they made, and then now they're remaking the same mistake. But you think, in that moment, you're going to think, well, they should know. They already made this mistake once. Maybe they're right. Maybe this island is worth it. But you need to be disciplined and realize that they're just not. And they're giving in to the same thing they gave into at that island. So they all get off and you stay on. And then you get to Hawaii and you realize how worth the journey was. And then, maybe years later, you see a couple people that was on the raft with you. And do you think they're going to say, dude, you missed out? Like, you should have came to that island back there. It was a good time. They're gonna say, we wish we were here earlier. This place is beautiful. This is amazing. Like, why? I wish we followed you and didn't, get off here and get off there. We could have been here 10 years earlier, or 20 years earlier, or 1 year earlier, whatever it may be. Think about all the decisions that you prolonged, and then now that you've made them, you just wish you made them earlier. Most decisions are like that. You don't prolong a decision and then you finally make it and you're like, I'm glad I wasted 2 years not making that decision. It was a time well spent. Like, I prolonged working out for a long time. And when I started working out, I didn't or when I first like when I really started getting into working out, I didn't think the 16, 17 years I didn't work out was worth it. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be working out when I was, 0 years old, but let's say like 10 years old. I didn't say like the first 5 years I wasn't working out. I didn't think it was worth it. I didn't look back like, it was a good use of time, playing all those video games. I'm glad that I got that out of my system. Like, I didn't want to work out. I'm like, oh, I wish I worked out earlier. I wish I had, I wish I started sooner, because then I could have been, so much better at sports in high school or whatever it may be. So it's like, you never want to get to a place late. You would always want to start earlier than you did. And just remember that when you're on your journey, because, the offshoots on your journey are going to look very attractive, especially when you can get there so much earlier than you can your true destination. But it'll be all the more worth it once you get there. And prolonging that gratification will be amazing, and you'll be able to live the rest of your life with the warm feeling of knowing that you put your best forward and you did your best. So stay true to your path and don't be distracted by all the things around you.